Mass Attacks here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at a battle from the Tier 9 British heavy tank. It is the Conqueror. If you're new to my channel and you enjoy what you see, please don't forget to subscribe. So before we get into the action, I'll show you my crew and equipment that I've currently got on this tank. My crew on this tank aren't too bad. 2 members onto the 4th skill, 2 members onto the 3rd skill, although my loader's just about to get his 4th skill. The equipment I'm using in the special survivability slot is vents. Then I've got a gun rammer and a turbo. On field modifications, I'm only on to level 3 because I've just started doing the field modifications, so I get a permanent bonus of plus 1% of vehicle hit points, haven't filled with any other modifications. So now let's have a look at it in action. Today I'm playing on Redshire. It's a standard battle and we're all tier 9, so a good test for this tank. And I've decided to go to the east. This map is perfect for this tank. I could have pretty much went anywhere, played the ridge lines in the middle or to the west, but I've decided to go to the east, face the enemy heavy tanks. So this tank, I've had this tank for a long time. As soon as this British line come out, which was about 10 years ago, I did start it and progress right away through all the way to the tier 10. That used to be the FV215B, but now is the Super Conqueror. It got replaced. So I have had this tank for a long time. Before the Super Conqueror come into the game, and the top tier was that FV215B. This tank was by far my favourite of the Tech Tree line, but now the Super Conqueror is out, the playstyle's just exactly the same, but the Super Conqueror is just better. So this one has taken a bit of a back seat and I haven't used it for a long time, but since I'm pushing for the field modifications, I am playing it at the moment, and hopefully I will progress it and finish the field modifications for it. So what this tank is, it's really good hull down, just the same as the Super Conqueror. So I found a hull down position. You can get caught out playing this position if the enemy push round and get shots into your side, but if you can keep them at bay, keep them back, you will be able to get some damage in. So I'm not doing too bad here. So I'll tell you a little bit about this tank, and I'll tell you about the gun first. It is 120mm. It does have 259mm of penetration, which is good, with 400 alpha damage. With my crew and equipment, I've got a reload time of 9.29 seconds, which gives us a DBM of 2584, which isn't too bad. And then I've got an aim time of 1.74 seconds, which is good, and a dispersion of 0.3, which is excellent for a heavy tank. You also, as you do get with most British tanks, is 10 degrees of gun depression. So this tank is really good hull down, playing ridge lines. So if you haven't got one of these tanks, or a Super Conqueror, you haven't done this line, basically this line is you've got really good turret armor and the guns are really good, really accurate on the British tanks, and that pretty much sums this tank up. So now we're pushing in, taking these enemy tanks out. That's pushed forward. So I've taken the ST1 and we've taken this full area, and now I'm just going to try and crest this ridge, get some damage in, try and finish these heavy tanks off that are here, so we can win this full side of the map. So I've got an over crest, which can be dangerous, but I did manage to sneak a shot into the E75. They could easily get a shot back into us, but they weren't focusing on me. So crest the ridge again, E75, and I was lucky to get the lower plate there, especially with the angle of it. So I'm just pulling back, playing the ridge line how you should. Fire your shot, then pull back over the ridge line. So I'm focused on the E75, and I focused this track as well, so I took this track off and I get the assistance for that. So we've won this side of the map. Can I get a shot into the artillery? It doesn't look like it. So now I'm going to push to the middle of the map and help at that side. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this tank, and I'll tell you about its mobility, which isn't great, That's why I'm running a turbo on this tank, so I get a top speed going forward of 38.3 kilometers an hour, and that's with a turbo, so it is tragic, the mobility. And then I've got a reverse speed of 14 kilometers an hour. And then I'll tell you a little bit about the view range. Nothing special there. I do have quite a lot of stuff trying to help the view range apart from equipment, but I have got the crew skills, and I've only managed to get it up to the 443 meters, so it's only 2 meters down from the max, but that's as good as you're going to get. Although I'm not running food on this tank. If you run food, you will get it a little bit better. And then the armor on this tank, I'll tell you about the armor now. And on the turret you get 254 millimeters of armor on the front of the turret, and that's what makes it really good hull down. And then you get 88.9 on the side, 69.9 on the rear. And then your hull armor, and this where it goes a little bit pear-shaped, you only get 152.4 millimeters of armor on the front of the hull, and then you get 76.2 on the side, 38.1 on the rear. So if you end up on a city map in this tank, you really have to be a little bit cautious and don't go pushing straight out and showing your hull, because even low tier tanks will penetrate your hull. Try and find piles of rubble, something like that, or somewhere where you can play a hull down. So back to the battle, and there's only one tank left to kill, in Object 263, the Russian tank destroyer. And I am on to 5 kills. I would like to get a top gun, but all my teammates are flying in and they've all got better mobility than me, so I've opted to stay on the top of the hill, see if height will give us a little bit of an advantage. But he is hidden behind the rock, so I can't quite get a shot into him now. But he's pulled back. There's one shot into him. Didn't get the kill, somebody else took him out. Let's have a quick look at the stats. It was a Master Ace Tanker Award, and I can tell you that's the first time I've gotten the Master Ace Tanker in this tank, even though I've had it for nearly 10 years, and that was down to me 5 kills, 4,912 damage, 983 assist, and 2,240 potential damage blocked. Top of the tree for XP with a base XP of 1462. Top for damage by nearly double. I made 75,000 credits, so that's due to a personal mission payout, plus 12,062 XP, that's for tactical training, and an award for the first victory each day, which was at ×5. I'd like to thank you for watching today's battle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like and comment. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There's a little icon in the bottom left hand corner. Cheers.